Hello there and welcome to German with Gino. Now, today I'd like to focus on the conjugation of regular verbs. Today's goals are going to be to understand the infinitive form, introduce the pronouns, conjugate the verb spielen, and form a simple sentence with the things that we'll learn today. Now, first off, the infinitive form. Now, you can see the word spielen up there, but you may not know what it means. You may know. Now, it means to play. Now, I just use the English infinitive, or the equivalent, and it's like to play, or like to make, or to have, or to be. That is an infinitive form. But in German, you see it's just weird. It's one word. It's spielen. Now, you see that it has an en at the end of the word. That typically denotes that it is in the infinitive form. Now, regular verbs, the things that we're going to be focusing on today. Spielen, to play. Now, you see that en at the end, and you can see it with these other verbs too, like kommen, to come, lernen, to learn, kaufen, to buy, and machen, to make or do. Now, they all have that en at the end, which means they're in their infinitive form. Now, the infinitive form is kind of like, it's a basis to verbs. It's the starting point. So if you have a verb that you want to learn, you start with the infinitive form. You start there and you make your way. Well, we'll find out where you make your way to soon. Alright, so anyway, before we get to conjugating, we need to know the pronouns so we know how to conjugate. So we have ich, which means I, du, which means you, sie and es, which means he, she, and it, wir, which means we, ihr, which means y'all, or to those northerners, you all, sie, which means they or you formal. Now, to go off on a tangent here, you'd use du with your friends, your family, people you've known a while. However, you'd use sie, the formal form of you, in a situation like, say, if I was with my professor and I was talking to him, I would refer to him with sie instead of du, because he is in a place higher than me. It's like saying sir or ma'am. Now, onwards, we have verb endings. So here we see our favorite word, spielen, in three different ways here. We have spielen, the infinitive form, and now this is the typical, way of thinking that people at my university are taught to learn German, or to learn how to conjugate at least. We have the infinitive form, spielen. We cut off the en, and now we get spiel, the second place on the screen now. And then for the third part, we take spiel, that cut-off version, and add the ending that matches the pronoun. And here we're going to see that. This is the conjugation format that we're taught, and it seems to be the easiest way to do this. We have ich, which gets an e at the end. So say it would be ich spiele, but we'll see that in the next slide. So ich gets an e, du gets an st, sie and s get a t, wir gets an en, ihr gets a t, and sie gets an en. Now, spielen, once more. Ich spiele. It gets that e. So we see it right there. You see that it has the ending for e, or for ich, which is an e. Now, we took spielen, chopped off the en, and then we add the ending that matches the pronoun. So ich spiele, du spielst, sie es spielt, wir spielen, ihr spielt, and sie spielen. So in action, like we're going to use to make those simple sentences we talked about at the beginning, in action you would use it like this. Now, das Klavier means the piano. So we would say, ich spiele das Klavier. I play the piano. Du spielst das Klavier. You play the piano. Sie es spielt das Klavier. He, she, or it plays the piano. Wir spielen das Klavier. We play the piano. Ihr spielt das Klavier. Y'all play the piano. Or you all play the piano. And sie spielen das Klavier. So now you know how to use verbs in simple sentences, how to conjugate them with each of the pronouns. Thank you for your time, and this has been German with Gino.